Good day, Deep in Word family. Welcome to day 107 of our Bible study review. Today we're opening up 2 Kings, and the chapter study for today is 1 through 3. All right, y'all. We left off yesterday with King Ahaziah, who is the son of King Ahab. So now we're still focusing on the northern kingdom of Israel. At the opening of chapter 1 of 2 Kings, we see that after the death of King Ahab, that King Moab rebelled against Israel. And so now that we see the son of King Ahab, Ahaziah, he suffers a great fall. And he suffers a great illness because of this fall. And he wants to know if he's going to recover. Instead of going to Yahuwah, or one of the prophets of Yahuwah, he sends his servants to go seek out Beelzebub. Yeah, demons. And then it says that the word of Yahuwah came to Elijah. And Yahuwah told him, he says, go meet these men on their journey to go seek out the word from Beelzebub. And tell them what I say concerning their king. And so Elijah catches up with his messengers before they get a chance to go consult with these demons. And Elijah tells them, your king, since he's consulting outside of his own God, he will never recover from his bed. He will die. And so the messengers, they return back to the king to tell him. And King Ahaziah, he's like, why are you back so soon? And they told him, we met a man, and this is what he prophesied over you concerning the word of Yahuwah. And so he asked them, what does this man look like? And they told him, he's a hairy man. They gave description, and he was like, it's Elijah the Tishbite. So King Ahaziah sends a captain with 50 men to go seek out Elijah to bring him to the king. And so they find him at the top of a hill, and they tell him to come down. And he says, if I am a man of Elohim, let fire come down and consume all of you. And so that's what happens. So that word gets back to the king, and he sends out another captain of 50, and they do the same thing. And Elijah speaks the same word. They're burned up with fire. And then the king sends out another captain with 50 more men. But this captain says, please let our lives be precious in your eyes. The captain was like, look, I know what happened to the other men. We don't want that to happen here. And so Yahuwah tells Elijah, it's safe. Go down and meet these men. And so Elijah tells them the same word that he told the first messengers that he saw along the way. He says, since your king wanted to seek out the word of Beelzebub and not the word of Yahuwah, he's like, the same word that Yahuwah spoke the first time, he still means it. And Ahaziah, he dies. He doesn't recover. This is a lesson to Christians, those who call themselves followers of Christ. We are not to seek out mediums. We are not to seek out psychics. We are not to consult with the stars and identify with the stars. We're not to play with tarot cards. If you open up a portal and you ask an answer outside of that of your heavenly Father through your high priest, if you enter into the spirit realm illegally without the Holy Spirit, do not be surprised at what comes your way. If you open up that door to the enemy, he has every right to come in and wreak havoc over your life. Don't play with it. Now that Ahaziah is dead, his son Jehoram is reigning in his place. Now don't get this confused, because right now in the same time frame, the southern kingdom of Judah, their king is also named Jehoram. Remember, there was King Asa, who was a righteous king, and then his son Jehoshaphat, who was a righteous king. Now his son Jehoram is reigning in his place. So yes, the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah, both of their kings have the same name. This is why you need to write this stuff down. Chapter 2 opens up, and we see that Yahuwah is about to take Elijah up. And so Elijah is traveling from Bethel to Jordan. And each time he's telling Elijah to depart from him. And Elijah's like, I am not going anywhere separate from you. And so at the river of Jericho, Elijah takes off his robe and he slaps the water of Jericho. And it says that the water splits into two and they walk into dry land, crossing over. And it's at this point, before Elijah is about to be brought up in a whirlwind, he asks Elisha, what can I do for you? And he says, I want a double portion of your power. I want a double portion of what you have done. Double your works. And Elijah responds to Elijah and he says, you have asked of a difficult thing from me. But he says, if you see me going up in the whirlwind, then this will happen. But he says, if you do not see me, this won't happen. Then Elijah gets taken up in a whirlwind. And Elisha sees it all happening. And the robe of Elisha comes down. Elisha is saddened, but he has his robe. And as he's traveling back, he takes the same robe and he splits the water of Jericho. And he walks through it again on dry land. The sons of the prophets saw Elijah from afar coming, and they said, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. And when they saw him coming, they said, look, now you have more servants. And they said, well, maybe the spirit of Yahuwah brought Elijah up into some mountain or something. Shall we go look for him? And Elijah says, no, you shall not. But they kept pressing him and pressing him. And he was like, all right, I guess go and look for him. And it says that they searched for him for 3 days and they could not find him. Now, I hope y'all know that this is a picture of Messiah and us. Messiah said, "Greater works will you do that I have done." He departed and he gave us his spirit, and the spirit gives us gifts. And those gifts are to be used to demonstrate the power of his kingdom. We are called to multiply the works that he did. That's what this is a picture of. It's a transfer of authority, a transfer of power. The chapter ends with Elisha performing a miracle of healing bitter water. And we also see that there are young men who are taunting Elisha because of his baldness, right? Because Elijah was a hairy man. He curses these young boys, and they are shred to pieces by a bear. For a better understanding of this, I'm going to tag another video of my brother Mark from Kingdom Story Films. Check it out in the description box below. Chapter 3 opens up and the focus is now the northern kingdom of Israel. Jehoram is ruling right now, and it tells you when he comes into play. While Jehoshaphat was still alive, Jehoram of the northern kingdom became king. And it tells us that the king of Moab is rebelling against the northern kingdom of Israel. The king of Moab, he was actually friends with King Ahab, but once King Ahab died, he started rebelling against his sons. And so now that we see Jehoram of the northern kingdom, he's asking Jehoshaphat. It's going back in time a little bit. He's asking Jehoshaphat, the southern king of Judah, if he will come up and battle with him against the king of Moab. And he also asked the king of Edom. Both of these kings say yes, but they're asking, is there someone that we may seek, a prophet of Yahuwah, to give us an answer whether or not we should go up against the king of Moab? And one of the servants of the king Jehoram tells him, the word of Yahuwah is with the prophet Elijah. We should go seek him. And so King Jehoram goes to seek Elisha. And Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom are with him. And Elijah speaks to Jehoram and he says, if it wasn't for Jehoshaphat, I would not be talking to you, because Jehoram still walked corruptly. And so the issue with going against the king of Moab is that there was no water in the land for the men or the livestock. And so when they sought the face of Yahuwah through the prophet Elisha, he said, bring me a musician. And as the musicians started playing, he started prophesying. He says, there'll be no wind and there'll be no rain. But he says, these valleys will fill up with water. And so they woke up and they sacrificed. And as soon as they did, those valleys, they filled up with water. And Elijah says, this is a small thing. That's a minuscule thing for our Yahuwah to do. And so Elijah continues prophesying, saying, you will go up against the king of Moab, and you will utterly destroy their cities. You will destroy their trees. You will destroy everything. And so when time comes to battle against them, they see the water in the valleys, but they see it as blood. And so they think the three kings, the king of Israel, the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, they think that they have come up to battle against each other. And so they go out in confidence. And it's at that moment when they do, they are defeated. When the Moabite king saw that he was being defeated, he offered up his son to one of the demons. And it says, because of this, the children of Israel felt a great wrath and they ran. I want you to see that when people offer up their children, that they strengthen the principalities in the heavens above. Do you see that at the end of the chapter? The enemy fought back, but he was only able to do so by the shedding of innocent blood. Come on, y'all. We need to see these truths and see how they correlate with us. Abortion clinics, those are altars, and it multiplies judgment and sin in the land. So please do not call yourself a child of Elohim or a follower of Christ if you are in agreement with things like this. That opens up doors to demons, and that's what gives them more power to push against the true children of Elohim. I hope that you have seen the many lessons within today's reading and how they pertain to us in the here and now. I truly hope that this has blessed you and opened up your eyes. Deep and Word family, that is all that I have for you today. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.